me down, I ain't going out. As the culture turns, you gotta figure it out. They see you getting it poppin', they gon' try and come around. I be down to go out like and keep it live round. In the blick, get you hit. Bitch, we gon' get you first. Don't get caught up in the mix. Better watch out for that blitz. Can't deny that I'm lit. You can't deny that I'm lit.
Can't deny that I'm lit. Gotta ride with your blick. Fuck watching for the option. Be the cops to get you hit. I just right up off the porch. Mama said stay up out the mix. Niggas up when I was broke. They left me down on my dick.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Jameer with the Journalism, presented to you by As the Culture Turns. Before I get into everything, please make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more content just like this. All right, so on today's episode, I will be discussing the most recent Loren Lorosa interview that she did with Carlos King on his Reality with the King podcast. So in this interview, Loren Lorosa actually admits to bullying her way into a guest co-hosting position on The Breakfast Club. We'll watch that clip and then we will discuss.
I bullied my way into getting a guest hosting position. Like they didn't know me. I had never met or worked with Charlamagne, Envy, Angela Yee. I didn't know the EP who was booking Eddie F, who was booking everybody for the guest hosting. They didn't know me from a can of paint. They might have seen like, okay, the girl from TMZ, but like nothing. But I was on my best bully. Like I was like, okay, I want to make sure that because I wasn't even thinking about it like the job was going to be mine. To be honest with you, I watched the show. I was a fan of the show, every interview, every whatever, because of what I do. Mm-hmm. But also I just enjoyed the show. So like I watched it and I could tell from the natural progression of the guest host and how much Jess was there. I'm like, oh, the job is basically hers. They just haven't announced it yet. Like I already knew that. So when the opportunity came for me to have a day, it was literally supposed to be one day. When that opportunity came, I went in there knowing like, yo, the job is Jess's job.
But how did you get the opportunity to even have the day?
So what I started to do was being resourceful. I was reaching out to anybody I knew who had ever walked inside of the Breakfast Club. I was sending them my resume and my reel, like, yo, send this to them.
So I like the fact that she opened up about that because number one, that goes to show the determination that she had. So when she talked about bullying herself into getting the guest co-hosting position, within that she wasn't someone that they just called, so she had to get her foot in the door some way, somehow. And I believe in doing that tactic because listen, you got to make sure that you get yourself in the room no matter who or what tries to stop you. She talked about on her podcast how TMZ had basically told her that she could not audition for the Breakfast Club and work at TMZ at the same time. So she decided to leave TMZ. I've been in positions like that where I was on a show called Gagging with Jason Lee, and I literally bullied myself into that show. Being someone who watched the show, I definitely felt like it was something missing from a male's point of view. And I actually inboxed Jason Lee and I told him that I didn't like the men that were on the show, the commentary that they were given, and that he needed someone else. And next week, I was on the show. I'll play that clip another time, but this ain't about me. So back to Loren Lorosa. I like the fact that she did that because number one, you have to sometimes bully your way into corporate America. You have to do that sometimes in order to get in the door, So the fact that she had people send her highlight reel and, her resume to the producer who was booking the guest co-host goes to show that it was necessary, for her to bully herself into that guest co-hosting position. And with her being realistic, she watched the show. She saw that Jess Hilarious was basically the one that was going to be hired. So instead of her feeling discouraged and not doing the guest co-hosting opportunity, what she said in the interview, she said that she used that as her rollout plan to say that, hey, she quit her job and she was going to use it to find her next job, So the fact that she pretty much knew that it was going to be Jess Hilarious' job anyway, I'm happy that she still went up there to do that one day initially because it's supposed to be one day, and then eventually she had got multiple guest co-hosting opportunities, to the point where it put her in the conversation. So I agree with that. I don't think there was nothing wrong with what she said at all. Sometimes you had to bully your way into these corporations because they wasn't knocking on her door, so she had to go and bang on their door for sure. So I got another clip that I want to show that stood out to me in the interview because she had also admitted to feeling guilty about being good at her job. And then she further elaborates. I'll play the clip and then we will discuss.
Bad that like I was good at what I did.
Let's have a real conversation. Okay? You're there. And all of a sudden, people are like,
it just happened out of nowhere.
Do you feel like you overtalk people?
Yes, I do, child. I do, 100%, 100%. And now it's like a joke, but I really be in real time like, oh shoot, I really be doing that. But I come from TMZ. You gotta listen. It's fight or flight in there.
Yeah,
you gotta fight for your words. You gotta fight for your everything. So I'm not used to being in a space where they like, it's okay, you're here. Like, I'm not used to that. And I also, for people and like the world actually cares and like all that, all this is new for me. So I'm learning as I'm going, but I feel like I'm getting a lot better and doing a lot better at it.
I think you're excellent.
So that was a 2-part clip. I forgot to expound on that second part. So on the beginning clip, she talked about, and it kind of was, the audio was kind of choppy. So she basically said that she felt guilty at being good at her job. So when she filled in for Jess Hilarious, and she was bringing her own twist to Jess with the Mess, and the reception that she was getting in the comments, because I was one of them, especially as a listener, I was one of them that was like, ooh, I like her. I think she should stay. She was giving us something that we didn't think that we needed, so I could see how she could feel guilty at being good at her job because it's like a lot of people was using her. Like I would say somebody like Mandy B from the Horrible Decision podcast, they was using her and promoting her and bigging her up to get back at Jess. And then of course the regular people in the comments who started that narrative of them, having an issue and pitting black women against each other. I could see how she could feel guilty because she wasn't there to take somebody's job. And she knows how it is in that industry, especially for black women, that it's not normally a lot of opportunities or spots for them. So even though she came in to do her job, which she did do, she also felt guilty because it felt like it was at the expense of another black woman's job, So I get that 100%. And the second part where she talked about when Carlos asked her, does she cut people off? And she said, yeah, she does. Listen, I think a lot of people do that. And I feel like it makes sense because she explained that when she was at TMZ, as you can see, she was in a newsroom with a bunch of people. So you really had to get your words in when you can. And I don't want to keep making it about me, but I remember being on the Gagging with Jason Lee show, whereas you had limited time to get what you had to say out. There were times where I was long-winded. There were times where I hit it right on the nail. And there were times where I didn't hit it on the nail. And depending on how well everything flowed with what you were saying, Jason would, ask you what else did you think about the next topic or whatever. But if he wasn't feeling what you were saying, he would either cut you off the screen or he would straight up tell you, all right, you're getting long-winded, like get to your point. You feel me? So I remember always having to figure out, okay, let me get this stuff out. I don't want to do too much. And I always took it as constructive criticism. I never took it any other way, So the fact that she knows that and she acknowledges that, and of course that came from Jess Hilarious having to say that she cuts people off or she over talks. I get it. Sometimes you really have to get your words in. And now I feel like she's only getting better with it because now she realizes your voice is important here. You don't have to fight for a mic time or air time. That's what she had to do at TMZ. She doesn't necessarily have to do that at the Breakfast Club, but she definitely does have to, between the four of them, get in what she has to say, but also allow the others to have that commentary as well. So I definitely do agree with that. Listen here, you over talk sometimes to get your point through and to make sure that you're a part of that conversation for sure. So I did enjoy that. This was a very good interview for sure. And I feel like it just gave that extra layer of Loren Lorosa that we needed for sure. I got one more clip that I want to play that stood out to me. We'll discuss. I'll show some comments and then we'll get out of here.
Like, I think Jess knows that I'm good at what I do and that opportunities and doors would have opened for me despite her doing what she did. But what I think she was trying to say is that she didn't stand in the way of that happening. And she could have said, no, I don't want no other girl up here. She could have said that. And to be fair, the station, and this is just my opinion on it, but if it was me and I was like, you know what I mean, roles reverse, if I said that to the station, I would have expected them to honor what I was saying, but she didn't do that. And I think that's what she meant by it.
Yeah.
Also, throughout the interview, which I highly encourage y'all to go watch, she most definitely went more in depth into, like, you know, the Jess Hilarious situation and different things like that. And I feel like she did it more on a positive note. So for those of you that's looking for drama, you ain't gonna find it there for sure. But I like that because, as she stated, we all know that she was talented, and whether it was the Breakfast Club or something else, someone was going to snatch up Loren Lorosa and give her a job because of the great job she did filling in, for sure. You know, so that's why I felt like when it came to her filling in for Jess Hilarious, she had said that was a way for the Breakfast Club to get her on payroll. You know, because she was having conversations about being a senior producer, but that's just what it was, conversations. It wasn't nothing that was set in stone. So when she was chosen by Jess Hilarious to fill in, and during the live and the, you know, when they aired everything out, Jess Hilarious explains that, yo, she know that she's dope and she picked her to fill in for her, you know, so that she wasn't hating. So what Loren Lorosa was basically saying, that she knows that Jess Hilarious, again, is good. Jess Hilarious knows that Loren Lorosa is good, but Jess could have made it difficult for Loren. She could have been like, nope, keep Loren in the back. I want a man to come and fill in for me while I'm going, because again, in radio, you don't normally give up your seat, especially to someone that may be deemed as better than you or more qualified than you. You know, so I feel like that goes into a lot of that. But she basically said that, you know, Jess didn't make it hard for her. Jess made it easy for her, you know, because Jess could have just been like, nope, I don't want her. Nope, 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 nope. But she didn't do that, you know, so that goes to show that regardless, Loren was going to get her blessings, but Jess Hilarious is going to get double the blessings for not blocking Loren Lorosa's blessings. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion. But I do got some comments from the comment section. I want to read some of them and then we'll discuss. All right, so for the first comment, it says, Loren is articulate, intelligent, beautiful, unapologetically herself, engaging, emotionally intelligent, natural. We are seeing a star shine right in front of our eyes. She is here to stay. I agree with that. I definitely do feel like we are watching her grow, and we are just seeing the beginning of what she is going to do for the world of journalism, podcasting, broadcasting, etc. She is going to bring a lot to it. And with her being from Delaware, which is close to where I'm at, I'm in Chester, Pennsylvania. And over the time of this like past year or so of following her guest co-hosting, I have really become a real big fan of Loren Lorosa, and I want to see nothing but great things happen for her. Next comment, it says, I love Loren. I'm really surprised to learn she didn't major in journalism. She really got it naturally. That's my thing. I was really under the assumption that she went to school for journalism and that she, you know, worked at the college radio station and different things like that. She did not go to school for journalism, but it goes to show that you don't have to go to school for journalism to be a good journalist or to be deemed a good journalist, podcaster, commentator, etc. You don't have to do that. You know, she went for marketing and business. So in ways, she, you know, got, obviously that degree is being put to good use, you know. So I agree with her 100% on that. You don't. It's really about who you know. I didn't go to school for journalism, even though I always wanted to be a journalist, and I'm doing it now in this way. You know, I'm taking a scenic route. I'm not necessarily going the traditional route of getting the bachelor's, you know, degree in journalism and then, you know, however they expect you to do it. This is a scenic route that I took. And she took a scenic route because she was a flight attendant and then she was working on a tour bus for TMZ, and then she worked her way into that newsroom. So, listen, I'm surprised she didn't go, but listen here, that goes to show you don't necessarily need a journalism degree to be a journalist, or at least a respected one. All right, and final comment I have, it says, I quit my job last week and I'm gonna do content creation full time. 50K followers on TikTok already. This was very inspiring. God got the will. Exactly. And good luck to that person that is going to be quitting their job to do content creation full time. That is something that I plan to do eventually once I get enough signs to do it. I'm definitely going to jump in that lane as well. But this interview was really inspiring, and it showed me that what's for you is for you, but you also have to go and work for it. Things will come to you in its due time, and don't ever count yourself out. Always make yourself become a part of the conversation, and also just stay at it, stay consistent, and be your biggest fan. I took a lot from this interview with Loren Lorosa because I just love the authenticity that is coming out of her. We are learning her in real present day time. So this isn't like someone that we knew for years. Like, we are getting to know her. And one thing that Carlos King said in the interview that I like is that while a lot of people online is showing their praises for Loren Lorosa now, don't get too caught up in the hype, because the same way that they build you up, they are ready to break you down. And I 100% agree with that. And for me, I am a genuine, real Loren Lorosa fan. And I feel like if I have any criticism of her, it'll be constructive. It wouldn't be to tear her down like the general public choose to do when someone start getting that notoriety, or they are deemed to be feeling themselves. So I like that he broke that down to her. And I actually like that he had her on the podcast, because this is just going to be the beginning of many more great interviews that I feel like we see from Loren Lorosa. So that was my thoughts on everything. What are your thoughts on Loren Lorosa saying that she bullied her way into a guest co-hosting position? What are your thoughts on her saying that she felt guilty at being good at her job? And also, what are your thoughts on her over talking? Do you think she over talks? Do you think it's necessary? Let me know in the comments down below. And again, as I always say, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Jameer with 3 underscores that you see on the screen. And you can also follow me on Instagram at As the Culture Turns. And as I always say, this has been Jameer with the journalism, and I do my research.